Welcome in to the Marvel Stuff Podcast, where, like it is every week, I'm the one and only host. There's no one named Coach that's ever been on the podcast, and he might as well just not exist. But joining me today is Noah King Bates.
Hello, hello. Yes. If you've ever heard the name Coach, that is a lie. Doesn't exist.
Nope,
Coaches
not
never.
even.
There's never
Nope,
been a
not
profession.
even. Not your high school coach, not your middle school coach, nothing.
Those
No,
are
but
sports director, then we all know it.
Yep, exactly. Coach is actually on vacation in Florida, so we got the legendary Noah King Bates of Jewish theater fame, which I was lucky enough to go see today. Noah, that was a very impressive performance. I give you your
Thank
flowers.
you. I hope you enjoyed. I had a little for all of our Marvel nerds out there listening. I like to add comic book quotes to all of my bios, and because I was playing a Jewish man, I figured to pick the best Jewish hero and or villain that I could think of, which was Magneto.
It's a good quote too.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Noah. He's a great guy. On today's episode, we're going to play a little game that I came up with, and I think Noah's the guy for this one, so it's going to be a super fun time. I'm going to present 6 mediums to represent the characters that we're going to talk about. So which medium would be the best translation for each character? The 6 mediums being comic book / graphic novel. We got mystery novel, which is fun, romance novel, TV show, movie, and video game. And I've got 4 rounds here. There's going to be 6 names on each of them. Only one character in each round can go to each medium. And we're going to have a nice long discussion about each of them and try and decide what works best and why. So, Noah, if you're ready, let's do it.
Let's go round 1.
Round 1, fight. I after seeing your thing, I was like, I'm going to put Magneto as the first choice, and I did. So round 1 is Magneto, Spider-Gwen, Colossus, Rogue, Punisher, and Rocket Raccoon. It's a very broad selection, and I think it's going to be fun to discuss. And I'll mark each of them as we decide so we can throw it all together at the end. But hearing that list, Noah, what was the first one that you really zeroed in on and what your thoughts were on them?
So the first one that I zeroed in on was Punisher, and it was video game.
Punisher video game, that would translate really well. I'm a little surprised. I think they probably did like something with one of the movies back in the day that weren't very good.
Yeah, like Warzone.
Yeah, one of those. It might have had a video game, but if it did, I didn't play it. And but I agree, a first-person shooter superhero game, and like the show was very popular with a lot of people, and I think those same people would go out of their way to buy a video game featuring the Punisher, especially if you somehow got John Barenthal to do the voice or something. I mean, we're talking like next level, but that would be really sweet. I agree with you. Out of anyone else on the list, I really don't think any of the other ones would fit video game the best. Magneto is like a soft maybe. He's just not a video game type of character. So I think
Spider-Gwen, because Miles and Peter already have really well-established games, and Spider-Man, any Spider-Person fits well in that medium. But I was also looking at the fact of, like, as a kid, a game I shouldn't have been playing, but I definitely loved, was the Max Payne games. And that's just Punisher's story.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. It's just Punisher without the Punisher. I agree. That one's perfect. But now video game is off the board. I don't think it's a great loss for some of these other characters, but we have 5 other characters and 5 other mediums. I'll be honest, romance novel just feels like a Rogue vibe to me. And let it be known that I came up with this randomly, so I haven't given any thought to any of these. So I'm doing it at the same time as you. And I think Rogue and Gambit would be pretty like A1 material for a nice romance novel. I mean, I'd read it for sure.
Okay, so
do you think it could be better as a movie or a TV show? Because I'll hear you out.
You know, I like it. For me, the person that I had as romance was Colossus because I was thinking of like those old
Interesting.
your
Him and Kitty Pryde.
grandma. Yeah, but like you think about like your like
Oh, the
the ones
romance
that your
novel
grandma
with
used to.
like Fat
The
Fabio on the
strong,
cover.
yeah, the strong man, and yeah, that's what I take him as, like this farm worker who can turn his body to steel, but his heart's still human, and it's just like that intense old story where it's just that.
Yeah, I could see
But
that getting
I,
pretty gross with the details as well. Yeah, that's a fair
yeah,
point.
you
Colossus might be
they
an
use
okay
like
one for that.
metallic wand or something.
Yeah, we won't go rated R on this, but I could definitely see how you could take this into a different context. So I think that's a good shout too. Maybe we leave it on the board, the romance novel
Oh
between
yeah,
those
let's
two, and
come
we'll,
back to it.
yep.
Let's come back to it.
Rocket Raccoon. This one is a little interesting. I feel like for me, he feels like the
Mm-hmm.
most comic booky of anyone else on this list.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the comic books. He's a talking, shooting raccoon. He translated pretty well to the screen. People do like him. Bradley Cooper does a great job of playing his voice. But out of anyone else on here, it just feels like he would be the comic book guy. But you could also maybe
Yeah,
go that way with Spider Gwen as well, because she has some Deadpool-esque qualities in some modern comic books, like Gwenpool, which is what not Spider Gwen at
yeah,
that
we
point.
was that's technically like yeah. For me, I think he's comic. I can't see myself watching a full TV show about him unless it
That's how I
involves
feel
like
too.
Groot. And same thing with like watching a movie. Like if it's just Rocket all the time, I'm like, I can read that. And there are Rocket Raccoon comics out there that are translate really well.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like that's definitely the most go-to comic book person.
Okay. Well, for taking romance novel off, Magneto can either be a movie, a TV show, or a video game. Or no, not a video game.
No,
That's
Punisher.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Mystery novel, excuse me.
Mystery novel.
The mystery novel I
Okay.
thought would be like a fun one to add a layer in here where it's like, which one's the most like a detective, or like they could be the villain
Yeah.
of the story. I think I threw a villain in each one of these rounds, so that'll keep things interesting as far as where we
Yeah.
sort them and such.
And I didn't want to give mystery to Punisher because really the main one that you get with the mystery novel is just like who killed his family. And that doesn't give you
It's
much.
been done before. Yeah, it was good. The Jigsaw story they did with the Netflix show was fantastic, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a mystery novel at all.
I think in terms of movie, I think I'm going to give to Magneto.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Magneto definitely feels like a movie. There was at one point, if old comic book fans remember, after they did X-Men Origins Wolverine, they were going to do an X-Men Origins Magneto, is what First Class started out as, and it eventually transformed into First Class, which was probably a good move because that's a pretty quality film, and it spun off. Like, it gave the X-Men a new life, not necessarily one that everyone loves, but you can't knock it for trying, that's for sure. But yeah, he definitely feels like the cinematic one here. I mean, anything like, especially if you got Michael Fassbender. No offense to Ian McKellen, yeah, Sir Ian McKellen. But I think the young translation that they did in the prequel series was kind of like A+ Magneto material. So I definitely would love to see a movie. All right. Well, he gets the movie. So Spider Gwen, I think you're a bigger fan of this character than I am. Not that I dislike her, but you are more well versed. So I'm curious to
I love the spider
see
people.
what you think.
Yeah.
Yes, you're a spider guy.
I'm gonna give her. I think I figured out how I want to do the mystery, so I think I'm going to give Gwen TV show.
Spider Gwen TV show. Now, what type of TV show? Not that that's something we have to consider for all of them, but I am curious what your thoughts are.
I think I would love to see her as almost like a spin-off of Into the Spider-Verse, where it is a like cartoon or an animated show.
Okay, that's fun.
And she's like the leader of a small, because in the comic she becomes like one of the heads of like the Web Warriors, of like a section of the Web Warriors. So I would love to see just kind of like a teen girl who is in a rock band who also has to travel to different dimensions and help other
That's fun.
spider people. And it's her
All right.
balancing. It's like My Life as a Teenage Robot, but with spider people.
Ooh, good shout, dude. That was a classic Nicktoon. If you guys didn't watch that growing up, I mean, I actually don't know if it holds up. So, I mean, maybe not, but it was great for its time. I do recall that one. Side note, my favorite Nickelodeon show was Danny Phantom. That was my jam. Love me some Danny Phantom.
If we're going animated,
yeah, of
definitely.
course.
Okay, all right. Because like for me,
Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh. Mine's Kenan and Kel, which walked so Drake and Josh could run.
I guess that's nicer than saying the black Drake and Josh,
right? They were still first.
They were there first. Yes.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, Life as a Teenage Robot. Animated, I gotta go probably Rugrats. It was my first show.
You love Rugrats? I was a big Rugrats guy too, but that's not what we're doing on this episode. We just got sidetracked. All right, we got two X-Men on this list: Colossus and Rogue. Yes. It's a mystery novel and a romance novel. Both could go both ways, especially the way we discussed the romance with Colossus. He could be like your classic farm boy on the cover, and Rogue could very well be trying to find Gambit and having an adventure through New Orleans or something like that. That could be a really fun adventure as well.
Which is, I think, it's where I started leaning towards. I was like, to have her be kind of the Humphrey Bogart looking for the dame that is Gambit.
Nice. I don't recall. Does she get memories from people when she touches them? It depends on the version. Okay, so that could be a very fun way to do it, where it's like she's investigating. She's like, this person definitely saw Gambit. She has to decide if it's worth touching that person and what information they can get from them, or if she's willing to harm them. That's good. Yeah, you convinced me. Even though I also kind of came up with that myself a little bit.
Yeah, especially because, you know, in some iterations she takes on the persona, or she gets like a little bit of like there, and then it becomes almost like iZombie. I'm gonna be shooting out a lot of different medias because we're talking about media.
Might as well, dude. That's the best.
And I think that reads really well into like if she's getting into the underground of either New Orleans or even just New Orleans with hoodoo and voodoo, and she has
especially quick shout out to American Gods, the TV show and the book. That's my favorite book of all time. And the show was they did a pretty interesting storyline with like voodoo and stuff in New Orleans, and that was I could definitely picture Rogue in that environment. So, all right, that concludes round one. We gave Magneto the movie, Spider-Gwen the TV show, Colossus the romance novel, Rogue the mystery novel, Punisher got a video game, and Rocket Raccoon is staying in comic books. I think that's a pretty solid start. On to round two, and another one of Noah's favorites is at the top of this list, Sir Miles Morales, of course. I had to get some spider people in, not all of them, but in a couple of them. He's the first one on the list. We've got Human Torch as another one, Mephisto, Iron Fist, Cyclops, and Gamora. This was definitely like a jumble where I shook a bunch of Marvel people in the bag in my head.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna put these guys in. Like, I just like the idea of like thinking of each of them as main characters, because that's not always the case with some of these guys. Like, does anyone really think of Gamora as a main character? Not really, but she could make a very interesting protagonist in one of these mediums. So, all right, same question as last time. Who'd you zero in on first, and why?
All right. I mean, of course, you said Miles, and my head immediately thought Miles, but because I love him so much, I know he can fit anyone. So I'm actually.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, he's a video game guy, and I definitely want to see the movie. Obviously, he's done the animated movie thing. I could see his story translating in really any of these, like a Spider-Gwen romance, mystery. Maybe finds out something about his uncle. There's a lot of things you could do with this character. So, let's push him aside. Human Torch.
So
also a side character.
I'm gonna go left field right off the bat. As much he's another one that I love, but I think his story fits well in this genre, and I'm gonna go Cyclops romance.
Cyclops romance. Yep. It really, I mean, it's right there. It's pretty much kind of like what his main role has been within comic books is just the gnarly love triangle, which really kind of just makes Jean a bad person in most of these comic books because Cyclops is nothing but loyal, which I'm not going to dog on Wolverine because he's my guy, obviously my favorite character, but he is trying to Mr. Steal Your Girl Cyclops all the time, and it's not really cool, bro.
And yeah, because I mean, you got to look at his love interests that are.
You got Emma Frost
that
too.
Are Emma, right?
Madeline Pryor, the clone, yeah, mother of her people.
Cable. So I think to create a romance novel of that whole will they won't they between so many different women, I think it's just like it's that he is the I was gonna say Dorian Gray, the whoever the 50s, like we're making a romance novel.
Yeah, like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
thing. I get it.
But he's not a bad human.
And there's the weird layer that they've hit on is like she could never look him in the eyes, and X-Men Last Stand really crapped on that whole idea when she did hold it back and then imploded his head or whatever she did in that movie. But yeah, that's a fun layer where it's like they could never truly look at each other or whatever. So you're right.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
The way that I would take it, though, and it would have to add some elements, but it's very much after, like, he's badly wounded and is like from a mission, and his glasses are broken, so he can't see the girl who's taking care of him, and it's very much just kind of like hearing her voice and doing all of that.
Ooh, you could do the unreliable narrator thing too, where it's like you have to like see things from his perspective. Yeah, there's a lot of fun you could have with that one. So yeah, that's a home run pitch right there. This is partially why I wanted you on this. Coach doesn't love doing pitch episodes. I'm like, this is pretty much just a bunch of pitches for mediums, and it's and
I love pitch episodes.
I always call you up on them, dude. Have to. All right.
All right. So
I want to do
out of the way.
Human Torch next because he is forever the side character. He's really never the main character. So I think giving him a chance in something could be fun. Now I didn't quite decide which way I was leaning on it. So what are your thoughts? There's one that I kind of got in the back of my head that could be kind of fun, but I want to hear what you have to say.
So for Human Torch, the one that stands out to me for him to really get his shine on in a way that I think would suit him is graphic
novel.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how a video game would work.
He doesn't have a deep enough catalog to really, you could see him as like the main character, which is why I'm trying to give him his flowers here. But yeah, I think a graphic novel is the best way to feature him because some of the best comic book characters of all time, as soon as you make them like a main or a secondary character in like a major graphic novel, like that's how the character finds a new ground to kind of jump off of, and they're no longer on the bottom floor. So I'm with you. I was in my head, I was like, maybe you could do like a teen drama type of thing, like a Euphoria featuring Human Torch, but I kind of pushed away from that. Huh?
Yeah, that's what I said. But that's featuring. I feel like if we want to make him the main character in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, he's no Zendaya.
I do like it if you gave him like a Dawson's Creek type thing, but I think graphic novel, because then we can really delayer Johnny in a way that is really.
I mean, if you got like Alan Moore back, or have Neil Gaiman take like a weird trippy vibe to it, that could be fun. There's a lot of different things.
Or right after he died.
James Tynion the fourth. He's a good he could probably do a pretty good job with him. Scott Snyder, he's a Batman guy. I don't know if I want to see his Human Torch, but.
Yeah, but I would love to see more of like an introspective, or even just like a truly galactic Human Torch.
Yeah.
He's dealing with stuff that not even like the rest of the team knows about. Which he does have those adventures every so often, but
he has like side stories. The only thing that like you could have maybe been a saving grace is if you went like Spider-Man and Friends on it, where you included him with like Iceman and was it Firestar? Is that what the girl's name was?
Yeah, Firestar.
Yeah, you could do something along those lines. But I was like, then he's still like he's not the main, so it doesn't work.
And if you do that, then I would go like your route where it's Euphoria, but I would pick the New York team the standard New York team that we used to have. So like Peter, because back in the day, Peter, Bobby, and John were friends. They were like the three amigos in terms of like comic book chum. So it would be very interesting to have like almost like a college years.
Yeah, that's true.
Peter, Bobby, and Johnny. But again, he wouldn't be the main character. Most people would be focusing on Peter.
I think we're right. I think we're right with a graphic novel. My thought with Gamora, she feels like a mystery novel type to me. I could definitely see her kind of going deep, like some weird Thanos adventure. That's kind of the vibe I get from her. What are your thoughts? Any of the other ones fit better, you think? You could maybe do a romance with her and Star-Lord, but I don't buy their romance in the movies, and I don't really care.
Yeah, for her, I would be like that or a game, because that you get your standard like slasher game.
That's true. Or you could put her in like a From Software game or something. That I could see that. Have it be like Bloodborne or Elden Ring.
Yeah, which would be kind of cool to like have her going from like planet to, or like what is it, Jedi
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
the new ones,
like
Jedi
that.
Survivor.
Survivor, right? But I feel like maybe that's where she could thrive pretty well in like a game where she's going from planet to planet, trying to either find the Guardians, or
I could see her in like a Star Wars-esque role. That's true, but I think mystery novel kind of really encapsulates that character. So that's what I'll put down for this one. All right,
and I like it because an intergalactic mystery is always cool.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you. Because what was it? Oh man, Far Sector. That's what it's called. Far Sector is one of the best Green Lantern graphic novels that's ever come out, and I would highly, highly recommend it. The main character in that, she's next level, and it's cool because it doesn't necessarily tie with any other DC characters. She's in a Far Sector. It's a high reading recommendation for me, and I could see something like that, like because it is a mystery. I could see her in that role for sure. Okay, we got Miles, Mephisto, and Iron Fist left, and we've got romance novel, TV show, and movie.
Wait, no? Do we still have romance? No, Cyclops was romance.
You're right. That's my fault. TV show, movie, video game. Yes, correct.
All right, so I'm gonna go
Iron Fist.
His
TV show sucked.
Which is why I was gonna go fight. I was gonna go game, because then we get something like Jet Li's fighting game that he had for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, like Sleeping Dog.
Really, really fun. Yes, it's very much like Sleeping Dog, or like the Yakuza games. I think that something with bullet time.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Miles Morales already has had a movie and a TV show, but I think he fits more in movie
than
Mephisto does. And a video, right? So I'm gonna throw Miles in the movie because
I agree.
He has a story that can be told multiple ways in a movie.
Fun to like think of like essentially the King of Hell. Like that could be a fun. I mean, they've done Lucifer as a TV show, and then like they could take like a similar vibe, go about it that way.
But I would want it to be more like a horror show.
Yeah, like Gwendolyn Christie and Sandman, like have that type of devil ambiance where it's like got like screaming corpses that make up the walls and things like that, like super, super creepy graphic. Yeah, I'm into that for sure. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, like if you mix Sandman with Lovecraft Country, that's what I would want. Yeah.
Man, I hope Jonathan Majors is a sore subject right now. I hope he did.
Yeah, very sore subject. I think as well, but like until we learn more,
I'm gonna stay quiet.
Let's just keep our fingers crossed.
Yep. All right. Well, that rounds out round 2. Miles Morales got the movie, Human Torch graphic novel, Mephisto TV show, Iron Fist video game, Cyclops romance novel, and Gamora mystery novel. I like that bunch.
Yeah.
All right, the next list. Deadpool, Peter Parker, Thanos, Doctor Strange, Blade, and Moon Knight. I like this round because there had been multiple, like each medium for each of these characters for the most part. So I want to see what one best fits for each. And it's kind of a tough call because the Spider-Man movies are legendary, but the Spider-Man games are considered some of the best games ever. So it's you know, there's a lot you can do.
But I'm gonna take you personally. You didn't say, well, you said Miles Morales, I guess, because I was gonna say you said Peter Parker.
I did.
So that immediately drew my mind to immediately going TV show.
Ooh, interesting. I could see that. Oh, well, I said I did say Miles though. Miles Spider-Man. Yeah. I just wanted to separate them. I guess I could say Peter Parker.
Right. No, I get that. But I
see where you're going though. I see where you're going.
Yeah. I
have like X-Men Evolution kind of live action featuring Peter Parker instead of the X-Men. That could be fun.
Yeah, I think Peter, especially if you get a really strong person who can play Peter throughout the years. Peter's story is so wonderful because you watched him grow up from a child to a man.
His animated TV show is like, it defines a generation for a lot of people. So he's definitely a contender. I think we could save Peter Parker and maybe kind of base off of the other one.
Yeah, because I think
Peter show's a good shout though. You might be right.
Yeah, because I was gonna say even like not in terms of like quality, but the CW's Flash, like how we got to watch Barry go from like a young 20-something-year-old to. Yeah. I mean, it was a little too long.
I mean, they're in their final season right now.
Thank God. But I would love to see something like that for Peter, where we get to see him date all the girls he's dated. We don't just have to watch a movie and he gets one girl.
It hasn't really been done before, and it's probably going to with the MCU. Is like he's a main character. Like no one's gonna argue that Spider-Man's one of, if not the most popular comic book character. Most people would say Batman, but Spider-Man's right there, and some people say more. So he's got like everything going for him. So the idea of taking him and putting him into like a high budget TV show for like HBO. That'd be pretty crazy, honestly, and like have it last 8 to 12 seasons or whatever. I mean, I think any Spider-Man fan would sign up for that. So yeah, I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna do something different. He gets the TV show, because he's done the movies. We know it works. We know the video games are fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Decision made.
And it's something we haven't seen from him yet.
Yep, that's true. Blade is an interesting one. He is a character in a couple of video games. I don't remember I think he did have a movie tie-in game, but I don't count those really most of the time because they suck, with the exception of like X-Men Origins Wolverine. That game's fantastic. But but Blade did have a TV show. I personally did not watch it. He had 3 movies. He's got a new one coming.
Was it?
Well, yeah, because I got there's a Walmart 4-pack, and I got to watch like the first episode from that series, and I was like,
House
never gonna watch that.
Chthon or something.
Yeah. Chthon, I think. I don't know. I mean, I had the DVD behind me. I could probably figure it out pretty quick, but I actually think I will while you discuss what are you thinking with Blade though? Because he's had the TV show, he's had the movie, but he'd be a friggin' fun video game character. Having some Twilight-esque romance for a romance novel also on the table.
Because he could also go really well in the mystery. I don't want to throw Moon Knight in the mystery because that's kind of very easy because of the Mr. Knight persona, and he is kind of like a Batman character. So throwing him in a mystery novel is not fun, but throwing Blade in there, that adds a second level. Again, I like the sci-fi aspect.
He's never been known as much of a detective, though. In fairness, I mean, he's like he has a Whistler with him for the most part. You know, he's got an advisory person like by his side. So maybe he could be a mystery novel, though. I'd read that.
Yeah, because a mystery novel isn't just like a murder mystery. It could be like what's going wrong with him because now he's starting to become a human or something like that.
Throw a curveball, though. Doctor Strange could also make a very interesting mystery novel with all of his magic powers and trying to understand how, the death curse.
Then you're just...
the book. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but then you become what is that book series where a guy The Dresden Files. Then you pretty much have the Dresden Files.
I don't think I've heard of that, but I believe you.
The Dresden Files are about a sorcerer who like lived in Chicago, who like solved mysteries and stuff like that. It's a great book. Don't get me wrong. Highly recommend it. My friend Taylor McKinstry brought me up on it. Fantastic. Like, it's a good series. But when you're like, yeah, he could be a mystery novel. I was like, yeah, there is a mystery novel for it. It's just called
kind of John Constantine a little bit too. All right, fair enough,
very Constantine. I would say, you know what? I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to throw the curviest of curveball.
Okay. If it's Blade and a romance, you're going to have to convince me.
No. I'm going to come back to Blade. I'm throwing curveball Thanos for a romance novel.
Interesting. Now,
his constant thing with death, I think, tells that story.
Oh, can you imagine if Death from the DC universe and Neil Gaiman's Sandman universe could come over to Marvel? Oh my God, that would be very interesting. But whatever, that's wishful thinking. They do have many different iterations of Death in Marvel as well. Yeah. So I believe there's a pretty sexy lady that's Death there too. So.
Yes, she is.
I think that's one. Isn't that a game? I was gonna say, yeah, no, I know. I play Marvel Snap religiously. I thought I remember reading that that was a story they did, Thanos and Death. Maybe I'm combining things, but whatever. I agree. That'd be fun. And really, the other ones, they're not all that romantic of characters. So let's give it to them.
You said Deadpool.
It's a Deadpool. He had a pretty successful video game. Successful video game cameos. His movies are fantastic.
That's true. I think for my mental fortitude, I'm going to keep him in graphic novel.
Yep. I think
that's the best medium for. Yeah, I think that's the best medium for him. TV shows and movies, as fun as they are and as great as his movies are, he's limited. Where in the comic realm, he truly can do almost anything. And I think that's what fits well for him.
He can kill the Marvel Universe. They did that storyline for a long time.
Yeah. I am going to go... Ooh. All right. Now, because the next three that we have are all very similar, but very different.
I know. Isn't that enough one?
We just got the Midnight Sun. But I think...
got mystery... movie and video game left. Yep, mystery movie.
All right,
video
I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna rapid fire, and you're gonna tell me your thoughts. All right, I think I'm gonna go Moon Knight video game, mystery, Doctor Strange, and movie Blade.
I definitely like Blade being the movie. I'll sign up for that one for sure. Even though I love me some Doctor Strange movies, I don't think Moon Knight's a movie character. He's definitely a TV show type of character. So he said video game for Moon Knight.
We might get an Arkham. I feel like we're gonna get an Arkham type game.
Shout out to Arkham Asylum, which I just replayed for the 7th time, and I finally platinum trophied it. So never done that before. Out here.
Let me know when you I Am the Knight Origins. That was the hardest moment of my life.
Oh, I did. Where you play the instant death one. Once. Yep, I did it. It was not fun.
It was not fun. Me and my roommate Micah. That was not pleasant, but we both did it. So
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I've been there. I've been there, done. It's yeah. No, that gave me a couple brain aneurysms for sure. All right, you're probably right though. Moon Knight video game. All right, I concede. You're right. Mystery. Because I like the Doctor Strange mystery. I like that one a lot. I was kind of vouching for it a little bit.
A fun thing I think that could work with the Moon Knight character in a video game aspect is to gauge like the slots go in the different personalities. Like it's very much like a RPG style slot thing, but at certain points when you're like if you're Knight or if you're Mr. Knight or something like that, what you learn as one character might not transfer over to what you learned as the other character. So you really have to.
That'd be a fun game mechanic for sure. Yeah, that's a good game mechanic. That'd be fun for sure. All right, Well, that concludes round 3. We got Deadpool in the comic books, Peter Parker TV show, Thanos with a romance novel, Doctor Strange with a mystery novel, Blade with a movie, and Moon Knight with a video game. This is the final round, and I got some heavy hitters in this one, so this is going to be fun.
All right.
Number 1, Wolverine, my favorite guy. Number 2, Captain America. Number 3, Ghost Rider. Number 4, Nick Fury. Number 5, Venom. And number 6, Killmonger.
Okay.
Some good. This one's gonna be fun. I like this.
Yeah.
I like most of these characters. They're all in my upper echelon of like interests. So I'm gonna enjoy this one.
All right. So I think I'm gonna start with.
I have one thought in my head.
Okay.
The one that makes the most sense. I think Wolverine's the movie guy here. He's got legendary stories. I don't know how you could maybe do like a mini series set in Japan. That could be fun with like featuring Wolverine. So if we want to leave that on the table, it could be fun too. I do love the video game, but he has the cinematic appeal to him, in my opinion. So we can kind of decide where we go with this. But I think he's proved then time and again that he's the blockbuster.
But what I will say, when you do blockbuster, you lose out on a lot of intent, which is why I would have put him as TV series, because I would have done a limited series, and each episode is an hour that takes place in a different point in time.
That was the only other pitch I had, so you're right. Maybe we can do that. Let's move on to the other characters, and maybe we'll swing back around and see what happens. Captain America doesn't
Ghost
feel
Rider
like a
video game.
Oh,
Ghost Rider video game.
Sign me up for that. That'll be fun. Yeah, out of any of the other ones, I think you're right. The Captain America video game was kind of boring. Midnight Sun's fun. I'm
excited about the new one though.
The new Captain America movie.
The new Captain America game.
Oh yeah, the one with old Black Panther. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, that'll be sweet. But we'll see how that plays out.
Even with that, they had to add like Black Panther and
they had to add another layer.
And a standalone game is kind of just meh.
Yeah, it's just like I just play Call of Duty, really. Just give me like with cheats. That's essentially what it is. It's Call of Duty with cheats. You can't die.
You have impenetrable shield.
He would be really good at zombie mode though. Nazi zombies.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty bomb. I'm going to give. Now you said Cap. Are we going Steve? Are we going?
In my head, Steve Rogers will always be Cap. I do respect the fact that both Bucky and Sam Wilson have portrayed him in the comic books, and much respect on their names because I love both those characters. But Steve is.
But
Cap
we're going with the first.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give Steve romance.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm looking at the other ones. I
really don't know. Who
Wolverine
else
would be
like
a fun like
of interest.
Well, Wolverine has a tortured.
But then I already gave romance to Cyclops.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I don't think Wolverine he's someone I want to see do things, not necessarily read. So.
Now, the only reason I would say Wolverine as romance, even though we gave him perfect for TV series, is because then you could do what I always find to be funny. It's what I wanted to happen for Captain America Civil War. I wanted there to also be the movie Iron Man Civil War, and they dropped on the same date, and you had to choose which movie to go into. And it told almost the same story, but with the other one being the protagonist.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
But then you'd only have to technically film it once, and then just kind of change around.
Noah, they did the popcorn buckets where you choose what team you wanted, so they tried.
Right. But what I was going to say is I would do something similar with Cyclops and Wolverine romance novel, where they're both going after Jean, and you just get each other's side.
And then you just call Jean out for being kind of a hoe. You're just like, dude,
on. And then the end is still the same. They all go to the moon, and they just have a throuple on the moon.
They hate each other too much. Wolverine and Cyclops. Murder. Okay, let's keep it rolling though. Venom, he's a fun character. What medium do you see him in though? Because out of
Uh,
most of these guys, he seems like visually he's the most comic booky character. But I
Venom.
don't know if I want to leave him in comic books. Yeah, I mean I like the Venom
I was
movies.
gonna put
They're
him in
definitely not
mystery
top tier. Huh? Eddie Brock.
because he's a news reporter and he's a journalist. Yeah, it's Eddie
Yeah,
Brock
you're
being
right.
a journalist.
Yeah.
And especially if he has to uncover the mystery of all these people who are being eaten, or seems like it's a symbiote.
Alternately,
that's
though, Nick Fury would also be very good for like corporate espionage and mystery novels.
Yeah.
Tough call.
So you know what? I think you're right. I think Nick Fury works better in the mystery novel.
All right.
I think we're going to then. That
This
gives us
is
Venom.
fun.
And
We
Killmonger, right?
We also didn't necessarily put TV show on Wolverine, though. I do agree.
Wolverine.
We could. That's still open.
You know what? Let's give Wolverine the movie. I still think a limited series is better for him, but I want to give Killmonger.
Yeah, but you give him one movie, he's gonna get 7 movies. It's been done before. Killmonger with the TV show. You're right. Him like growing up in America, going through the military, earning all his scars, and like hearing or him trying to like find Wakanda in a way. That'd be a pretty intense series, I would say.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be connected to the technical MCU Killmonger that we've gotten, although I love that story. We can also do very much him being, if we wanted to, him being like
White Wolf?
N'Jabu, like the White Wolf, or even just like the Black Panther in America, or even I just feel like. Or him being like the leader of like the War Dogs or something like that.
That would be a good TV show.
I think that would. Yeah, I think him.
He doesn't strike me as a comic book guy anyway. Obviously, he's a comic book character, but it's not like any of his stuff has to be portrayed in like in comic book form. Like,
yeah,
I agree. Venom. I think Venom's the comic book guy here.
Yeah. And I don't think as much as Michael B. Jordan is a standalone can carry a movie, I don't think Killmonger by himself can carry a movie.
100%. It really depends on who you cast to. All right, well, that was round 4. Right. Hope you guys enjoyed. To wrap that one up, Wolverine is a movie, Captain America as a romance novel, Ghost Rider gets a video game, Nick Fury is the mystery novel, Venom staying in comic books, and Killmonger gets a TV show. I like that batch too. That was a fun game. I had a good time, Noah. What did you think?
I had a real good time.
Hell yeah. Next time Coach is gone, I'll just call you back up and we'll do this again with different characters. I'll even take a poll on the episode, so look for that if you're listening on Spotify, and just let me know if you like this game or you like some of our other games more. I mean, we're always trying to do new topics and new episodes to keep things fresh, especially with our drought of Marvel projects that kind of has been happening recently, which we knew was going to happen. But we got Guardians coming up soon and a couple TV shows coming down the pipe. Yeah, 14 sounds right. It's like May something. May 9th, 15th? I don't know. Somewhere in there. Whatever it is, we're probably going to do some sort of theme week on that. Spider-Verse is coming up too. And then, Loki season 2 still this year. Secret Invasion. There's more Marvel stuff coming on the line, guys. So get ready for that. We're excited, but hope you enjoyed this game and had a fun time with me and Noah here. Thanks again for joining, my friend. Coach can get bent, but also hopefully we see him next week. And until next time, have fun, but not too much fun without us.